Welcome to Top Rope Takes. I'm Landon Popovic, as always, joined by Christian Montano from
Hello.
Beyond the Bench.
How's it going?
And we're 3 weeks away from the biggest party of the summer, SummerSlam 2026, 2 nights, US Bank Stadium in Minneapolis, Minnesota, August 1st and 2nd. And the card that WWE has built has a lot of promise to it. Roman Reigns is your world heavyweight champion going into SummerSlam. He's been the spine of WWE for the past decade, going against probably the other face of WWE of the past decade, Seth Rollins, his brother, his Shield ally, the man who never lost that title. This is 14 years of history, one match. And then you go to the other side of things. CM Punk is now your undisputed WWE champion. He replaced Cody Rhodes in a title match because Gunther knocked out Rhodes and beat Sami Zayn with a GTS in Chicago. Now, he has already started off this reign being a controversial champion, and another controversial decision, Oba Femi and Brock Lesnar inside Hell in a Cell, the rubber match, the trilogy finale, the passing of the torch in Minneapolis, which happens to be Brock Lesnar's hometown. The last time Brock wrestled in a building that mattered to him personally, something significant happened. We're going to break down every match, every storyline, and every angle on this show today. And we've got the Time to Turn segment, the injury report, and a full preview of Saturday night's main event at Madison Square Garden this Saturday. It's a packed show. Let's get into it. Christian, obviously, we have a very big, I would say, wrestling slate going on. I realized I had the wrong bar up, but we'll keep it. We'll keep it going. I'm sorry. Obviously, the biggest topic I would say is Oba Femi deciding not to go with the championship shot that he earned against the champion of his choosing. Christian, can you just break down a little bit of your instant reaction to that?
So the whole tournament, like the whole King of the Ring, I think I was talking to you about this too. Like my dad and my brother did not think Oba was going to win for the sole reason that they're like, he's fighting Brock at SummerSlam. It's too early for him to fight Roman. And I was like, I still think he's going to win. I don't think it's too early for him to fight Roman. Obviously, he's not fighting Roman, but I thought that he would. And then I thought that during that match, Brock might cost him, which would lead to a match down the road, maybe for the title with Brock. But I didn't think that this was going to happen, honestly.
Yeah, and you look at what Oba Femi's done since he's been here in the WWE. His official debut was at the 2026 Royal Rumble because technically the Cody Rhodes match never happened. He has 12-1 record, which is absolutely absurd. It has the big note that he defeated Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. The moment that pretty much everyone thought that Brock Lesnar was going to hang up the boots forever.
I know we did. Like, we were there. We thought that was 100% real.
I thought so. I thought that he had went off script. I thought that Paul Heyman's reaction was genuine, but wrestling's wrestling. It's always going to surprise you.
Yep.
And already mentioned that 2026 King of the Ring winner. He's really dominated everything there is to do in WWE so far. And that's what led everyone to believe that he was just going to go straight into the main event picture. But I think they're going to try and build that up down the line. There's actually going to be a passing of the torch between Roman Reigns and Oba Femi. I think that's what they're building towards.
Yeah, I can see that happening at WrestleMania. The only caveat to that is Saudi Arabia WrestleMania, obviously. What if The Rock has time to fight Roman? Throw Oba's plans right out the window, which would suck. But there is a very clear vision, and there's a world where that could happen.
I 100% agree. There's a world where that can happen. He's just been on top of the world. I think that once he beats Brock Lesnar, they're going to look after he beat Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. They struggled a lot with his booking. I feel like the same thing, the Oba Femi Open Challenge. And I think that's when the character kind of went stale for the first time a little bit for everyone. Do you kind of agree with that?
Yeah, because like every week you knew what was going to happen. He was going to come out. He was going to call someone out. He was going to squash them. Repeat the next week. And then once Brock kind of came back, you're like, all right, we're doing something. And then he lost to Brock, and then the same thing happens. But the difference between the first time and second time was that after he lost to Brock, you needed that to make sure that he still stayed at the same reputation that he had where he could not lose. He lost to Brock, but he's still that was an existential circumstance almost.
So just to wrap things up, pretty much just summarizing the booking here, I think this is a great booking decision. I think that Brock Lesnar, apparently he had been it had been brought to him the idea of him retiring against Gunther, and Brock was not for it. And I 100% agree that Gunther's kind of faded when it comes to the legend killer moniker.
Yeah, there's only so many people that you can have retire at one time. Like, it's not. And I kind of agree with Brock. You want to go out with a better match, not to progress Gunther's story, but to progress Oba's story, who Brock seems to really like. I have not seen Brock act like this during a storyline in a very long time.
I've not seen Brock ever like anyone, period, in wrestling. So this is something that we've never seen before. And we spoke about it. I think bottom line, they're trying to build Oba Femi and Roman Reigns as the biggest match possible. And to do that, I think that he needed to complete the trilogy against Brock Lesnar. He's billed as the next type of Brock Lesnar, and they failed doing that with Rusev. And I think they're going the right way about doing it with Oba.
And the other thing is that, like, if you remember, after Cody lost to Roman at WrestleMania 39, Brock Lesnar was his main, like, mountain to climb before he got back to fighting Roman. And I think the same thing's going to happen with Oba. And listen, he got rid of his title shot, but I think that beating Brock Lesnar gives him more of a reason to fight for a championship. And B, there's other ways to get that title shot. Oba can win the Rumble. Oba can win the Elimination Chamber. I can see Oba win the Rumble very easily. Like, I would not be shocked if we see something where Oba comes out 1 or 2 and runs the gauntlet.
Look, WWE has proven that they have no problem going with the biggest star winning the Royal Rumble. Just two things before we move on to the championship matches that are going to take place at SummerSlam. The question's on everyone's mind. Is Brock Lesnar actually going to retire in Minneapolis? And does Oba have to win clean in this match?
I think Oba will win clean. That's the whole point of a Hell in a Cell, because there's no other way for him to lose when it's not clean. And do I think Brock's going to retire? Depends on how much money the Saudi government offers him. Because WrestleMania Saudi Arabia, they want the biggest stars. There's very few people bigger than Brock Lesnar. So I think if they offer him enough money, he might come out of retirement. And I hate saying this. I don't think it's going to happen. I could see a world where John Cena even fights at WrestleMania. I don't think he will, but I can see it.
This WrestleMania in Saudi is going to bring a lot of people we thought were gone from WWE forever.
AJ Styles.
Yeah. I could see that happening too. But let's move on to the championship picture. CM Punk won this past, or was it last Friday?
It was Monday.
It was Monday.
Not this past Monday, the Monday before.
Yeah, so he won SmackDown's title on a Raw, which was a little weird. But he defeated Sami Zayn for the WWE title. So now we get the Hypocrite versus the American Nightmare. Now we see CM Punk kind of taking the moniker almost like Hulk Hogan saw him come out with the black eye. He's a guy that used to be like, you have to earn your title shot. He says he's earned everything here. This is kind of the opposite story here. Just break that down a little bit.
So it is the opposite story. I understand why they did it. You need that surprise, because if you just have Cody versus Sammy and then Punk comes out after, you'll get the pop, but then you don't have Punk win it in his hometown. You have him win it in Minneapolis. I like what they did. It was a nice. I don't say it was a shock, because I was watching it and I was watching with Colin, and I was watching with CJ, who does not know a lot about WWE. And the first thing he says when Cody gets hurt, he's like, "Is CM Punk going to challenge?" Yeah,
it was pretty obvious.
It was very obvious, but I didn't dislike it because I love Sami Zayn. There was no need for him to have a SummerSlam main event match. Can I see him be added to the match? Yes. And I think if we see Sami Zayn get added to the match, like if it is not a one-on-one match, I think that Brock versus Oba main event's night 1. If it is just Punk versus Cody, I think that's the main event of night 1.
Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting to see what matches they choose for the main event, because I do think there are 3 matches that deserve a main event, and there's only 2 spots. But let's look at what's been going on with the WWE title this year, because it's changed hands quite a bit. So Cody Rhodes started off the year as champion. He only had 9 days with the belt, lost it to Drew. Drew had his 56-day reign. Then Cody won it back. And then Cody defended it against Randy at WrestleMania. Had that match that was kind of murkied by the celebrity involvement. And Sami Zayn had the shortest reign since 2022 with those 9 days.
I think it was The Miz that had that reign.
Yes.
Yeah, he cashed in. It was no, it wasn't.
It wasn't The Miz.
No, it wasn't. It was because The Miz beat Bobby Lashley because he stole Otis's Money in the Bank contract and cashed in on Bobby Lashley.
Mhm.
But that was before 2020. Who was that?
I don't know.
Because it was before Roman had the belt.
Shortest title reigns.
Because Roman beat Brock. Brock got it from Big E. Roman beat Brock. Brock got it from Big E.
Since 2021.
Yeah. Big E got it. Who did Big E cash in on?
It was The Miz.
Oh, it was The Miz. That was 2020. There's no way that was 2022.
It says The Miz. He was WWE champion for 8 days.
Yeah, that's weird. Huh.
So, not a territory you want to be in if you're Sami Zayn, but I feel like the thing is, every time this year we've thought we had like a nice interim champion, like a space holder, like Drew was a nice gap champion, but they keep going back to that. And I think that's really hurting the story with the WWE Championship. Now, do you think that this was a rush decision in terms of SummerSlam tickets not selling as well?
No. I think that this was the plan all along. I think Punk versus Cody was the plan all along. It was just, how do we get there? Do we have it not for a title and have Sammy versus Gunther, or Gunther versus someone like... There were a lot of different ways they could have gone. I understand wanting to do it for the championship. I think Punk is going to win. I don't... There's no reason for Cody to have it again.
There's no reason for Cody to have the championship 3 times in 1 year.
Yeah.
In my opinion, I feel like it would only hurt his character. I feel like they could build the feud even more against Gunther.
That's how John Cena got his 17 titles. John Cena's longest, I think he only had 4 or 5 reigns over 100 days.
Yeah, and now Rhodes is he's at 3 or 4 now.
This is 4 because he beat Roman.
He lost it to Cena.
Won it back from Cena. Lost it to Drew, won it back from Drew. So he's had it 3 times.
Okay. So, yeah, I mean, I just feel like it's not a clear story, but I know that these two guys are going to put on a great show in the ring. That's why I'm not very worried.
Yes, absolutely. It's going to be a phenomenal match.
So, moving to the next match, obviously, it's Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins.
I'm so excited for this match.
This is 14 years of brotherhood coming to a head. Obviously, you've watched both of their whole careers. What does that moment really mean to a fan like that?
Gives me chills just thinking about it. I'm not they always put on stellar matches together. They flow well in the ring. You always have, wrestlers talk about this all the time. You have that one opponent that no matter what, you put on magic every time. John Cena, AJ Styles is an example of that. Mm-hmm. Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins is another example of that, because there's so many different stories you can tell in that one match. I don't think there's any chance that Seth wins. But I think it's going to be a phenomenal match nonetheless.
Yeah, we mentioned the long-term plans being probably Reigns versus Femi at WrestleMania next year. How do you think that this match can really build to that and not hurt Rollins' character? Because Rollins, if he never got hurt, who knows? He might still be champion right now.
Well, the story is that Roman has never beat Seth, which is not true. He beat him on a Raw in 2017. People found that out pretty quickly after that promo. I don't remember that, if I'm being completely honest. They fought a bunch of times in the past. But Roman has never beaten Seth clean, I think, because if I recall, there was a match at Royal Rumble 2021.
Yeah, they had a match.
Roman got disqualified because, yeah.
I think that's what it was. It was a quick disqualification.
It's Solo maybe did something like that.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be a similar thing here. Jacob Fatu being in the seat of Solo.
Who helps Seth, though? I think someone could help Seth. LA Knight could help Seth.
It could be LA Knight. It could be one of the Prophets.
I forgot he's with the Prophets. But LA Knight's already fighting Jacob. You saw that, the 6-man tag?
Yeah, I don't understand the 6-man tag thing with SummerSlam. That's another thing.
It's a bunch of Samoans and LA Knight and Royce Keys.
I feel like they did this last year too. They put a bunch of the
It's
top
to-
name superstars in tag
It's
teams
to get the names on the card. Like we saw it last year with Jelly Roll. He fought Randy and Drew.
It was Jelly Roll or
Jelly Roll
yeah,
and oh my god, who do you-
Jelly Roll and Randy versus Drew and Logan.
that's what it was.
That's what it was.
Yes, that's what it was.
It's to me, it's a waste of 4 superstars that you could put in other.
You could have given the Usos a tag title match.
That's another thing. Like now, the tag titles don't get defended at
Who's the
SummerSlam.
That's the Profits.
It is the Profits,
They
yeah.
could defend against Braun Breaker. No, it's Braun Breaker in Theory. They
Yeah.
lost it 2 weeks ago.
This just shows how garbage the tag team division really
Yo,
has
you ready
been.
for this? You ready for this? Who's the SmackDown Tag Team Champions?
No clue.
R-Truth and Damian Priest.
It's the tag team division goes up and down so much.
Yeah.
And I feel like with the releases too, that didn't help because those are a bunch of guys that could have been in the tag team division, could have helped that.
I think we're gonna get very soon a tag team with Gargano and Sami Zayn.
Look, this is the SmackDown tag team division that went from having probably the match of the year last year in the ladder match
They all
at
got
SummerSlam.
fired. They all
and
got
they're
fired.
all gone.
They all got fired, I think, except the Street Profits, obviously.
Yeah, it's honest. It's puzzling. It's puzzling that WWE
And Gargano's still around somehow.
That they've really torn down the tag division. But I want to go back a little bit to what I said about the fact that WWE is yet again struggling to sell tickets. What do you think's kind of going into that?
The prices. It's the prices that are. They have. I think it's a football stadium, and I think that WWE has it set up for 30,000 people.
And that's not what it should be.
No,
That's a 72,000 capacity stadium.
Yes.
And you're only sitting it for 30,000. It's really, I think, the fact that they're struggling to build long-term stories, something that really culminated at WrestleMania 40, and I feel like made it so special was the long-term story, and they're struggling to get that back. And I think that's part of why they went back to Roman as champion, went back to the Bloodline story, because they know that's something that works.
Yes, it does work.
That's something that will make them money, and I think that's their biggest focus right now.
Yeah, I agree. I think. Listen, I'm going to SummerSlam. I'm excited. I think SummerSlam is going to be a phenomenal show. I really do. But they need to do something about the tickets, and it's not them. It's TKO. WWE has very little control over that.
Yeah, WWE used to be like a family type event. You used to go and you used to be able to sit in the lower bowl for $100 or less, and now it's ridiculous to sit in the lower bowl.
TKO is ruining WWE. I think I said it on this podcast before. TKO is ruining WWE.
Look, I think that obviously they have a great card built up. You have Punk Cody, you have Reigns Rollins, and I think that
sleeper match, Chad Gable versus Penta. That match is going to be incredible.
I think that could be incredible. Obviously, I think Chad Gable's done a great job since he's been back with WWE, since the whole unmasking, kind of building his.
That match, the Grande, that match was
match was probably match of the year. I mean,
it's definitely WWE umbrella match of the year. There's probably 2 AEW matches I would say are better, and they both happened recently. But I think where they go from that match, you do Gable versus Penta. Chad Gable wins, finishes his story almost.
Yeah.
And you know what you do from there? You have Penta win the Money in the Bank. That's what you have to do. You have Penta win Money in the Bank.
Push him into the main card.
Push him into the... Yes, exactly. And then when you have it for... Let him have it for like almost the whole year, because for most of this year, it's going to be Roman and Punk, and I can't see Penta beating either of them.
Mm-hmm.
But if you have Punk lose it to a guy like, a guy like Sami Zayn or a guy like Gunther,
yes,
they can afford to lose to Penta.
Then it's a pass for. If Penta's an interesting Money in the Bank winner.
Yeah, I think. He absolutely deserves it.
Absolutely, I think so. He's been nothing but phenomenal since he's
been a great Intercontinental Champion. We haven't had one of the. Honestly, Dominic was a good one too. We've had a good one.
The last time we had a really good one was Gunther before Penta.
Yeah, and like I said, Dominic was good. He didn't defend it as much because he's in AAA a lot, which he's still their world champion, by the way.
Yeah,
he's gonna lose it to El Grande though. Like Ludwig Kaiser.
100% agree. Well, there you have it. That's the full SummerSlam preview. 3 weeks away. We cannot wait. But before we get there, we have a coming up time to turn. Christian wants Cody Rhodes to flip to the dark side. I want CM Punk to go full villain. Let's find out who's right. So, Christian, this is an idea I kind of came up with.
Yeah.
Both of us pick a guy that
Yeah,
we
I
want to turn heel.
completely agree.
And I think both of them are perfect choices. CM Punk and Cody Rhodes. I'll give you the floor first about Cody Rhodes. Why do you think now is the time to turn Cody Rhodes heel?
I think it's been the time for a while because you can only do so much when he's a face, and his title reigns are very lackluster because, and I say this is like, I say this all the time about, as a face, the chase for the championship is better than the reign itself. And if they want Cody to stay fresh, they need to turn him heel. And the thing with Punk not turning heel is that, I mean, listen, he's a phenomenal heel. We know that he can do it. We know he's good at it. We know he likes it. But he's at a point in his career right now where no matter whether he's a heel or not, he will not get booed. And why turn him heel at that point?
I think it's similar to Randy.
I think it's similar to Randy. I think it's similar to Roman.
And if they're trying to build CM Punk as the heel right now, they're going to face the same problems they did with Randy Orton, where no one would boo
Nobody's
him.
going to boo him.
And I hope they don't go down the same path of how they tried to fix it, insert a celebrity into there. But how do you think this, obviously Cody Rhodes turning heel, you think it happens at SummerSlam further down the line before even?
I could see it happening before or at SummerSlam. I could see it happening at any point in time. I've been saying this for years, though, so it's bound to happen eventually. But the other thing with Cody is that he's already getting booed as the face. Just false end at this point.
I agree in that sense, but to me, right now, I think that it's not the right time to turn Cody heel. I think they had the perfect time to do it when he was feuding with John Cena last year. Yes. And I think it's going to be a little while until that chance presents itself again. Because Cody Rhodes is QB1. He is, for the kids, he's the most lovable character. For people like us, we see past kind of the basic character a little bit, and I think that's why it's different. But who makes money and who's going to buy the merch is mostly the kids. And
it's the same reason John Cena never turned heel until the thing we don't like to talk about, that awful heel run. But honestly, and that's why they never did it, because it didn't work. You had the John Cena, the Doctor of Thugonomics, who was a face, but he was I'm trying to think of who else,
like an anti-hero.
Yes, honestly, kind of like what Roman is right now.
Yeah, he's somewhere in between.
Yes, and I think that's where Cody has to be. You got to play it based on the feud. Like right now against Punk, he should be the heel in the feud. But if let's say he beats Punk and Gunther's his next challenger, Gunther's never going to be a face. He's one of those guys that's never going to turn face. So then Cody could be the face for that story. And I think you're just going to have to play it like that, because
I could see how they do something like that, and I think it would definitely rejuvenate the character a little bit.
Yeah.
This is a character that we've been complaining is going stale, and I think part of the reason why we want Cody to turn heel is because of the fact that the character is kind of going stale. But I think that the best story going forward is CM Punk becomes the thing that he never wanted to be. He becomes the corporate guy.
That's how you get Cody. Yeah.
And I let me just move into my case on why I think CM Punk should turn heel. I mentioned already, obviously, I think there's shades of Hogan in his character right now. And Sammy even said it, this is something that he judged in the past, being able to come back and immediately get a title shot. That's pretty much what he did.
Yeah.
On 30 minutes notice, you would guess, and comes in, wins the championship. This is a guy that was out 4 months. I think that he's poised for a big heel run, but they have to do it perfectly, and I think they would have to do it before SummerSlam.
Yes.
You would have to turn him heel so that you could get the fans to back Cody. Although, we argued that the fact that you can't turn Punk heel is because the fans aren't going to boo him. I think that you can get them to boo him. I don't think it's as bad as Randy. Like, Randy's a guy that could RKO pretty much anyone in the middle of the ring, and the crowd would cheer. But when you look at CM Punk, I think that he has been a heel in the past. The fans have not liked him in the past. I feel like if he kind of turns into the character of the attitude he had for years about
Yeah.
WWE, I feel like that's perfect.
Yeah, I mean, that's also a way you could turn Cody heel. How you like, oh, you literally become the thing that you said you hated. You're the corporate sellout, and then you have Cody have like that kind of Kevin Owens kind of heel run where he's like arguing with everything.
Mm-hmm.
But that is also how you turn Punk heel. You just lean straight into that character.
Yeah, I feel like it's coming across on TV very well what they're trying to do. They still have a few more weeks to build these characters up and to see what side they go on. So that's an interesting topic that we'll be keeping tabs on. But time to turn is up. The injury report is time for right now. Looking at all the superstars that are injured, there's a lot. These are only a few of them that I put on the graphic.
I completely forgot about Bronson Reed. Some of these people have been out for so long, I'm just forgetting about them.
Yeah, Bronson Reed's been out since February 23rd with a torn bicep. Stephanie Vaquer, who I feel like the women's division is really missing Stephanie right now.
I think she's going to return to SummerSlam.
And I think that's a reason why people complained about the booking with Liv.
Mm-hmm.
Liv didn't really defend as much as people would have liked her to.
Mm-hmm.
Do you agree that, the women's locker room is really missing Stephanie right now?
Yeah, she was a phenomenal champion. She was honestly one of those face champions where she was a great champion. And she had a great rivalry with Liv. And don't get me wrong, Liv versus Io at SummerSlam is going to be an incredible match. And I think that Stephanie Vaquer might return in that match.
Yeah, I think I could see her costing Liv, and that rivalry would work. It was the build up to that match was great going into WrestleMania, and I know some of the tensions have dialed down, but the way to ramp those tensions back up is have Stephanie come back and immediately cost Liv.
Yeah, and that rivalry doesn't need a title. Like, it really doesn't. It's one of those rivalries that they're going to put on a good match, and you don't need a title for that. So save the title for someone that needs it in their story. Now, Io's not one of those people either, but I think Io wins, and that finally leads to the kind of blowing up of the Io Rhea friendship, and then you get. I could if they weren't in Saudi Arabia, that could be a main event of one of the nights of WrestleMania, but I don't think that would happen.
But I feel like they're gonna want one of the bigger names like the Bellas one of the Divas era.
I don't think they're gonna want any of them in the main event.
That's true. Not gonna want anyone in the main event, but yeah, I mean, women's wrestling in Saudi, it's gonna be interesting to see how that even works at WrestleMania.
They do it. I mean. They do it. Just I don't know if you noticed this, but during Night of Champions, the Liv Io match, which was a great match, the crowd was dead silent.
Yeah. And they did
the same thing with the Women's Royal Rumble.
They did the same thing with the Women's Royal Rumble, even though it was better.
It was better. It was a lot better.
It was. And then you move to Logan Paul. Obviously, we already talked about Bronson Reed in the Vision. Logan Paul is out with that torn left tricep. He said he's at about 60 to 70%.
He said he's healing a lot better or a lot faster. He said he's about 3 months ahead of schedule.
So that would bring him back in about the end of August.
Yeah.
Because it's a 6-month injury. If he's 3 months ahead of schedule, that would bring him back in August.
Maybe Money in the Bank. Because Money in the Bank's that first week of September.
And then Randy Orton has been out since WrestleMania as well.
I don't even think he's like that hurt. I feel like
back injury.
Yeah, I think he's gonna come back at any time. Reignite his rivalry with Cody, honestly.
So you mentioned these guys coming back. How would you book each of these guys' returns? You could start with Bronson Reed, move your way out.
I mean, okay, so Bronson Reed, there'll be a Vision match, and he's just gonna come out, and that's how it's gonna happen. Help them win the match. That's how it's gonna happen. Stephanie Vaquer, like I said, I think she could come out of SummerSlam and cost Liv that match, reignite that rivalry. Logan, I think, might be very similar to Bronson Reed, where it's kind of like, oh, you can't hit me, I'm hurt. And then he uses his brace, and then he like takes it off and throws it, and then the reveal, oh, I'm okay now.
I could see that happening.
Randy, I really don't know. I think for him to return, it has to be against Cody because that is a
Do
completely
you see him
unfinished story.
fitting into the SummerSlam main event at all?
Yeah, I could. I don't think they will do that. I would love that. Randy, those are like Randy and CM Punk are like my two favorite wrestlers of all time. I would love that. Do I think that'll happen? No. I think there's a better chance of him coming out after the match or during that match.
I 100% agree. And now I'll talk about how I would book the returns for each of these. Bronson Reed, I think we could see inserting himself into the mid-card picture, maybe an open challenge for the United States title. He comes back that way. Stephanie Vaquer, I think SummerSlam's perfect. We already talked about.
As long as she's healthy, obviously.
Yeah, I think that's the perfect return there. Logan Paul, I feel like is interesting because no one really knows when he's going to come back. Because it could be in August, it could be at the Royal Rumble.
It could be next week. Like, we don't know. He says he's 3 months ahead of schedule. We have a general idea of when he got hurt, but we don't know what his original schedule was.
That's true. Like to us, the original schedule was 6 months, but he could have been told 4 months, and then that means he's back in like a week.
Yeah.
Who knows? To me, I feel like Logan Paul butting heads with Braun Breaker would be a great story.
The
kind of a vision.
It's not working. Like it's not.
Yeah, a Vision Civil War that kind of reboots the Vision.
Yeah, because it's not working the way it is right now. They added Maxine Dupree. Okay, now the Vision has a rivalry with Otis and Tozawa. Great. That's not what they were supposed to be. They were supposed to be the Judgment Day level threat.
They were supposed to be a main event level threat, but like obviously, unfortunately, the injuries happened.
Yes.
You couldn't control that, and I feel like it's gonna be interesting to see how Logan Paul comes back. Randy Orton, I feel like we've been kind of forgotten about. He's been on the back burner.
Yeah, he just never did anything after WrestleMania.
There's only one way for him to go, and that is against Cody at some point.
Yeah, that is a completely unfinished story.
And I don't know if it'll happen at SummerSlam. Maybe Cody gets a rematch for the title, and it happens there instead.
Yeah,
I could see that happening.
Put Cody in the Money in the Bank match. Now he's climbing to the ladder. Randy Orton comes out, pulls him down. There's a lot of different ways you can go.
Yeah, I 100% think there's a lot of ways you could go with all of these superstars. Unfortunately, a lot of people have been released. A lot of people are injured. So now WWE's roster is pretty thin.
Yeah.
Do you think that's a worry at all?
Not yet. They run the same stories all the time. I don't think it's a worry. I think it's a problem because they just run the same. I think it would be the same either way, whether they release those people or not. They haven't been working well with the tag division. That's one thing. Triple H really did well with the tag division and then just kind of stopped. And that's just weird to me, but I guess that's where we're going right now with the WWE TKO era. I will say, AEW is taking advantage of this extremely well.
They always do.
They have been incredible lately. Like, to the point where I'm wanting to watch Dynamite again. I had not watched Dynamite in months until last week, and I'm probably going to watch it again tonight. All Out or All In, whatever's in Wembley, is going to be incredible. Their last pay-per-view was incredible. That Will Ospreay Swerve Strickland match was the best match one of the best matches I've ever seen. Definitely match of the year. I was at Double or Nothing, another amazing show. They're literally doing everything right now, and they're reaping the benefits of it. I think at All In, we're going to see a Motor City Machine Guns, 1,000,000%. I think we could see the New Day. Wouldn't surprise me.
There are a lot of guys that WWE just let go that
Sheamus, at All In, it's called a Casino Gauntlet match. It's literally a gauntlet match. You're not told who's in it. They come out in intervals. And
would his no compete clause be up?
He doesn't have a no compete because his contract expired.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that's how you get around that. And it would be pretty close to being up anyway. But in the UK, you have Sheamus debut in the Casino Gauntlet match. I can't. The pop would be astronomical.
It would be incredible if we see Sheamus in AEW. And I feel like WWE put themselves in this position, and AEW can really take advantage of
Yes,
it.
and they've done it before, and they
Look poised to do it again.
yes.
But now obviously two champions teaming up. Saturday night's main event: Roman Reigns, Jalen Brunson. WWE returns to the world's most famous arena. Christian, this is an event we're both going to
Yes, we are.
on Saturday. Um, I just don't feel the excitement as
I'm excited because the Knicks are going to be there. The match card is extremely underwhelming. I think we're going to see one more match put in there because there's only 3 matches plus what's it called? Roman Reigns and Brunson. I can see I got Penta versus Rusev versus Penta, or Ethan Page versus Penta. Like, you just throw something in there. Trick Williams versus Carmelo Hayes. That match would be awesome for the belt.
I would love a mid card title changing hands at this at
It won't.
Saturday night's
Maybe
main event.
like
It won't, but
I guess Sol Ruka could defend her title. She's very good. I actually do enjoy watching Sol Ruka matches. She's a very good wrestler. They just need something else.
Yeah, I don't think there's really that big match that's popping off the page to the fans. This is the first Saturday night's main event at MSG since 2007.
Yeah.
So I feel like they should have planned a little bit better for this, especially given the Knicks were champions.
The issue is you're so close to SummerSlam, you can't do a lot. That's the issue with this.
And I don't understand that they had the perfect segment in front of them and chose to pair Brunson with Roman.
I have my theories to that. Brunson just had surgery, so I don't think he can really be involved with that Danhausen match. I could see Josh Hart throw some hands in that Danhausen match.
Get like Hawk Porty in there.
He's on the Sixers now. I don't
Oh, he's
want
on the
him
six.
anymore.
That's right. That's right.
I think that other Knicks will show up during that Danhausen match. I maybe Brunson will too, because like there was a Raw.
Maybe it's Alvarado.
I could see that
because he said he's from New York.
Yeah,
Alvarado's
I could
from
see
New
that.
York.
Oh yeah, I didn't even think about that. But like, I could also see them doing like a where like so. If you remember, there was a Raw at the Garden in like March. I don't even remember if you were there. You might have been there. It was Camp Scadaboo was there. Were you there?
I was not there.
Okay, so they did this thing on TV where like Scadaboo and the O line, and I think Logan Paul was like threatening Scat.
Yeah, so many people got mad.
Yeah, like Logan Paul's threatening Scat, and then the O line, like because Scat was hurt, he had a broken ankle, obviously, and he couldn't do anything. So they had the rest of the team defend him. I could see them doing that with Brunson, but this Roman Reigns Brunson segment, I'm excited for it because I love both of them, but it's just a little weird.
It is a little weird. Moving on to CM Punk and Cody Rhodes teaming up together to face Gunther and Sami Zayn. I feel like this is WWE's go-to at Saturday night's main events. Let's just throw two big superstars.
It's also how you get another match at SummerSlam. You do Gunther versus Sami Zayn, or there is a world where this tag team match turns the title match into a fatal 4-way at SummerSlam.
I could see a world where that happens.
And honestly, that'd be a good match too. They're all 4 of them are really good wrestlers.
I agree. I could definitely see that happening. I realize I never pulled the graphic down. My fault. But that's okay. Yeah. That match to me is just another confusing booking by WWE, and I feel like that's been their go-to, at least in the TKO era, has been let's throw 2 big superstars in a tag team match.
Yep.
Mentioned it happening at SummerSlam, and now
they did it at the Saturday night's main event with John Cena. Remember, he teamed with Logan Paul.
Yeah, it's just
against Cody and I don't even remember.
Might have been Cody and Drew, honestly.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah,
it was a weird mashup of people, and we talked about Danhausen, talked about him and JD McDonough. I don't know what it's going to be with a match, but
it was Cody and Randy because Jelly Roll came out, and that's how
right.
they set up that. Yeah, it was Cody and Randy.
But yeah, we talked about Danhausen and JD McDonough. That match is going to be a no DQ, so anything can happen.
Listen, you know what? It'll be a really entertaining match. I'm not mad at that, honestly.
I think we got room for 1 or 2 matches on this card, but I think that's pretty much it that we have to talk about wrestling-wise. Christian, thank you for joining me.
Of course.
This is Top Rope Takes, episode 3, 3 weeks from SummerSlam. How fitting. We'll see you next time. Landon Popovic, Christian Montano, signing off.
See ya.